I was really focused on winning this year. I think we had a very good squad to do that with. But the season was cut short. But yeah, that was the main goal coming into 2020 is to win ball games and just to see where it takes us. We got big dreams just like everybody else, and
Yeah.
we're willing to work for it.
And for Good morning, Hatter Nation, and welcome back to another edition of Coffee with Hats. I'm your host, Mark Mashad Jr., and this week we're going to sit down with Hatter right-handed pitcher, Danny Garcia. Danny had one heck of a freshman season and was following it up with a very impressive sophomore season, which obviously has been cut a little bit short. But what you're going to find out throughout this interview is that Danny would trade any individual awards for team success. He's an ultimate team guy, and we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about how he's matured over that freshman into sophomore season and all the lessons that he's learned throughout life to help make him the pitcher and the man that he is today. So sit back, enjoy a little cup of coffee, and let's jump right into it with sophomore right-handed pitcher, Danny Garcia. Danny, welcome to the show.
How you doing, Mark? Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's awesome to have you here, man. What do we got today? What are you working with for coffee?
Just got some Starbucks Frappuccino coffee in here.
Nice.
Just really gets me going.
All right, awesome. And so you're one of the few guys that stayed on campus throughout the duration of this. How's it been on campus for you?
There's been like quite a few people that have left, but there's also quite a few people that have stayed. I think as a Stetson community in total, we have been quarantining well. We've been staying inside. Just now they're opening everything back up, so we're getting some normalcy now. So that's always good. But yeah, I have a couple of teammates with me, so I never had like a lonely episode or anything. I always felt like as if I was by my teammates. So I'm doing pretty well.
All right, awesome. And you wrote this week's email out to our, the alumni and the donors and people who are really, involved with Stetson baseball. Mm-hmm. And I noticed in the email, I learned something that I had never known about you, that you have a twin brother.
Yeah.
So when we move on, I really want to find out what it was like growing up in Pembroke Pines for you, mm-hmm. but I also want to find out what was it like being a twin,
Yeah.
So go ahead. Let us know about that.
All right. Well, to start it off, me and my twin brother were actually born on different days, which is like a shock when everybody finds out. So I was born at around 11:35, and he was born at around 12:05. So it was over midnight. So now we have different birthdays. So we are twins. We were born different from the beginning.
Uh-huh.
We were twins. I was born about 3 pounds heavier. I came out natural. He waited a little while in there. I do have an older brother as well. I think he kind of like said like how the parenting went. My parents kind of just like you gotta wing it to a certain degree and until you get going on things. But yeah, that's how I started playing baseball. At first they signed him up for soccer because they didn't know what exactly they wanted to get him into, so they were, I guess, trying everything. Mm-hmm. And they tried him for soccer. He played that for a couple of years. I don't think it fit. So when he was about 7, I was about 3 or 4. But my parents signed all us up for baseball, and from then on, I think I just fell in love with the game ever since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. My dad was always like big on trying to get me better. I think he saw from the beginning like, oh wow, like he could do something with this. So me and my dad, my dad used to take me and both of my brothers to the field almost every day and throw us batting practice. you know, and he was really like hardworking with us and really taught us a lot about the game, and how to work, and and how to treat people with respect as well, and you know,
Mm-hmm.
they're really good to me.
So yeah, growing up in Pembroke Pines,
Mm-hmm.
you had the brothers that were there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you play any other sports outside of Little League?
Uh, there was a moment in time. So around when we were about 12 years old, uh, my twin brother. By then I was playing travel ball. My twin brother was still playing rec ball, and he won a championship down there and handed the trophy to my dad and said, "I retire." So my parents were fine with it at the moment, and then he got a bad grade in middle school. So as a punishment, they signed him up for basketball. So they signed me up too because I wanted to play with them.
Yeah.
So I played a little bit of basketball, but it was all for fun. Baseball was always the main thing for me.
So for you and your brother, like when you said the differences started right off the bat. So he's kind of you're a little bit more on the athletic side. You like sports, you like competition. Is he
Yeah.
on the opposite end of that spectrum?
Yeah. He's more of a like stay inside, play video games. He is social like me as well, but yeah, he's smaller. He's studying law, so like that's a little different from what I am.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, but like he's always been different. I've always been the one that liked to go outside. He was always into video games from a very young age. So, but
Yeah.
you know what? I think it's working out for both of us, and
Yeah,
it's
absolutely. And from the sounds of it, like you're a health sciences major,
yeah,
correct?
yeah,
And so like neither one of you have chosen a real, you know, easy
yeah.
path. Like
Oh
that
yeah.
health sciences are pretty tough. And I was looking too at some of the info. You had some really high academic schools also
Mhm.
outside of Stetson that you were
Yeah.
also looking at as well. So I'm guessing like academics, with mom and dad and with for you and your brothers was a high priority as well.
Yeah. So growing up, like my dad was always like on the baseball side of things, and my mom was always about school. So you just you got to make both of your parents happy. So like I was always big on school, and just like from then on, I was I feel like I enjoy learning, so it's not
Mm-hmm.
that big of a deal to me.
Yeah. And when you talk about like I've watched you pitch here for a year now,
Mhm.
um, and the term bulldog comes to mind when I see you out there on the mound, um, and competitor comes to mind when I see you out there on the mound, and your fire out there on the mound is definitely it's like a different person almost than I know of you because like
Yeah.
knowing you off the field, very easygoing, very laid back, um, get the job done type of guy. Then when you get out there on that mound, man, it is a fight. Your competitive juices get going. You're ready for battle. It's almost like you make it a personal one-on-one fight between you and the hitter. Um, where did that start? Like.
I feel like I've always had that like competitive aspect to me, like from a young age, but I feel like I've like recently like more enhanced it um, as I grew throughout high school and developed more into college. I think preparation goes a long way, and I feel like those who are prepared feel comfortable in any situation. So when I'm on the mound, I feel prepared. It's almost like I feel like I know that batter's not going to beat me. Like I'm going to throw my best stuff at him, and I always think I'm going to prevail. So I just have that edge to me, that chip on my shoulder. So you know I throw with it, and it works for me. You know,
Yeah.
but
And
yeah,
as your year went last year, I noticed like you kind of like reined it in a little bit, um, and on the field, I feel like. And uh, how was that? What was that process like for you? Where you went from being super fiery and you're not that you're not fiery, but like super fiery and like you showed a lot of emotion on the mound at the beginning of the year that I noticed. And then as the year went on, you kind of you still have emotion, but you kind of controlled it a little bit more. What was that process like?
I think that's all about maturity. I feel like coming in, I was a freshman, didn't really know like what exactly like how the competition was and all the emotion. How I was going to handle all the emotions. But yeah, a couple times I may have gotten a little frustrated and but I think as the games went on, I feel like I developed my relationship with some of the coaches and players and they told me like how maturity is going to develop me as a person and a player. So I feel like I've matured in a way, but I still have all those emotions. Just
Mm-hmm.
have to filter them out a different way. But yeah, this is part of pitching with that with that the attitude I throw with.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. Like, and that's what as you watch specials on all the great players, on all of the great teams, and you read books on all these people, and there's always people that have a chip on their shoulder and they're playing with some fight and some fire in them, and that attitude, and I think it's awesome. I love seeing it, and I love seeing where, especially where and like even when you think about this Michael Jordan special with The Last Dance, how they didn't take the next step until they realized they, as a team, were able to not react to the Detroit
Mhm.
Pistons, being physical with them, and they could handle it. And it's just really fun to watch you develop and watch you grow like that as a player. And talking about last year, I wanted to bring this up. In getting to know you, you had a great freshman year, right? You were the college baseball freshman All-American team. You made
Mhm.
the baseball America freshman All-America team. You were on the ASUN All-Freshman team and the ASUN All-Tournament team. You had a lot of individual success. And what does that mean to you? And then, how does that translate for you and the team?
The individual just success is just like it's really just like a notion of really how you're doing. But in my eyes, like all that really doesn't matter. I just want to, every time I'm out there, put my team in the best position to win. And that's what it all should be about throughout the team. We should all have a winning mindset. Love to win, hate to lose, and just do whatever it takes. So every time I'm on the mound, I just try to do whatever it takes to not let any runs score and put my team in the best position to win.
Mm-hmm. Take us through, like, okay, so you just got brought into the mound. You throw your warm up pitches. Take us through the mental side of things where you're coming into the game. What's that
Um,
like for you?
so it's always depending on this what situation I am. You know, first of all, like it depends like whether I'm coming in to start any new, but regardless, I want to get that first out on that first batter I face. I always feel like that's so important. I feel like with one out, you can do anything to get out of any situation. So yeah, so I always get on the mound and I'm thinking attack that first hitter. Like this is the guy I got to worry about now. Get that out, and then we'll worry about the next guy next.
Mm-hmm.
I have a great trust in my catchers. They really study the game well. They read scouting reports well, so I do trust them most of the time. Sometimes I got to shake when I really want to throw something, but
Right.
yeah, I do trust them most of the time. They do know their pitch calling and yeah, they know how to get outs.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Um, what talk to us about your summer in Bellingham.
Summer in Bellingham, it was super nice. It was a beautiful area, very different, very far. I was on the opposite side of the country.
Yeah.
Um, the people were great, though. I was treated very well. Bellingham itself was a great place to play at. The people were die hard over there. It was always a fun atmosphere to play at. A lot of people at the games. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
What was your favorite thing about the Pacific Northwest?
I was gonna say the views. Just they have such a varying like arrangement of views over there. There's mountains, there's cliffs, there's beaches, there's desert, there's snow. That's the first time I ever saw snow was last summer. Uh,
Where were you guys playing when you saw snow?
My host family took me to Mount Baker. It was about a 2 hour drive from where we were in Bellingham, just because of how tall the mountain was. But yeah, it was like a snow day up there. It was crazy. It was about 60 degrees, so it wasn't even that cold, but there was snow on the ground. We were throwing snowballs at each other. It was pretty cool.
Oh man, that's cool. What was it like seeing snow for the first time?
Oh, being a South Florida boy, I just I'm used to it being hot all the time. So seeing snow for the first time, I remember I was getting ready to go with my host family, and I'd put on like very long pants and a hoodie. I was ready for it to be cold, and then I got up there and it was kind of warm. They're like, it's
Right.
the summer, and I'm like, but there's snow on the ground. So I kind of didn't know what to expect, but it was definitely a cool experience.
Okay. Yeah, and kind of run us through your high school career. Like, how was the program that you played high school baseball for?
All right, so I started off my freshman year at the school that my both of my brothers actually graduated from at Pembroke Pines Charter, and my freshman year I made the varsity team, but as a PO. And at the time, I was like big on hitting, and all I wanted to do was hit. But like my big brother had gone through the program, and he was a PO, so we're like, oh, you're going to be a pitcher. So I ended up leaving that school, and then I went to West Broward where I graduated, and that next year I was playing on varsity, but I was also hitting as well. So I was happy there. Um, I thought I was going to be a hitter my whole life. And then sophomore year came. I was catching. I was playing outfield. I was playing everywhere. They had me playing
Mm-hmm.
everywhere. And then my junior year came, and we got a new coach because our coach is now the head coach at a JUCO down south of Broward College. So yeah, we got a new coach, and my knees started not working too good, and so I had to let catching go, but I was still able to pitch, and this I still hit throughout my high school career. So I'm a hitter at heart.
Yeah. Well, you can see that. I can see that when you get those days where the pitchers get out there and take some swings. I mean, you
Yeah.
can see that you did it, and you did it at a pretty high level. How was the program? How were you guys as a team at West Broward?
As a team, we were very good. Like mostly every year. We always had about 7 guys going to play college ball the next year. So yeah, we were always solid as a team. But South Florida high school baseball, I mean, is very competitive. There's
Mm-hmm.
teams everywhere with that. Um, we ended up going. I believe we went 20-4 my senior year, and we were
Wow.
supposed to be really good, and we ended up losing the first elimination game, so we were right out. And so that was a bummer. But what can you do? You can just mature, move on,
Yeah.
and keep playing.
Mm-hmm. All right, awesome, man. Well, and again, I've talked to a lot of guys about some like adversity or what they've learned through their years at college. I mean, you've only been in college for now 2 years. What have you learned, through your last 2 years in college?
Um, I think like the difference between the level of play between college ball and high school is definitely the biggest jump. High school ball, you still have kids that like are on teams that aren't going to play at at the level we play at. So you feel like you're above everyone there, and then once you get here, everybody's equal. And at that point, it's about just working and preparing. So uh, I feel like I've definitely gotten better at that. I feel like the more you prepare, the more comfortable you'll be, and whoever's comfortable and the uncomfortable is going to succeed. And that's just what I believe in right there.
What was it like for you coming in after having a year like last year? What was your mentality coming in this year?
Well, regardless of the fact that I had like a pretty good year last year, I was really focused on winning this year. I think we had a very good squad to do that with. But the season was cut short. But yeah, that was the main goal coming into 2020 is to win ball games and just to see where it takes us. We
Mm-hmm.
got big dreams just like everybody else, and
Yeah.
we're willing to work for it.
And for me, being around college baseball for a good, almost a couple decades now, in different capacities, I've always kind of seen like like I've always felt like a huge development year for almost every college baseball player is from freshman to sophomore season.
Yeah.
What did you what was different for you mentality wise coming in as a sophomore as opposed to when you came in as a freshman?
I just feel like I knew a little more what to expect, like with the competition and how the guys are, and how to gel exactly with the team. But yeah, it's more of just experience. There's no real way to describe like how it is every day. We work like a long times, so it's just about trying to spend as much time with the group as possible, and really building that culture to win. And so yeah, that was the main thing.
Okay. Well, hey, that's awesome. So this has been a great little opportunity to sit down, get to know you a little bit better, share more information about you with our fans and the people who follow Stetson baseball. And yes, it was awesome for you to have the success you had, but you are more than that. Like, you're an amazing team guy. And that was really why I wanted to have this opportunity to bring you out and have everybody learn about that, about you, if they didn't know it already, how important the team is to you, the success of the team. And so, speaking of the team, let's go into the final segment here called Three Strikes. And I'm going to ask you some quick hitters. And I just want you to tell me the one guy that comes to mind off of each of these questions, just off the top of your head. Who is always late? Like, not even just to team stuff. Like, if you're going somewhere, who is the guy? Like, we're waiting on this guy all the time.
Gio
Lorenzo. Okay.
Gio Lorenzo.
Who is the most likely to win the lottery but lose the winning ticket?
Christian Suarez.
Okay. And third strike, who is most likely to get ID'd at the age of 30?
Okay. Oh wow, this one's hard. I'm gonna have to say Danny Martin.
Danny Martin, that baby face.
Yeah.
All right, Danny. Well, hey, thank you so much for being on Coffee with Hats, and really enjoyed having you on here. Have a great rest of your day.
It was a great time. Thank you, Mark.
You got it.